Wemden zamden kesin bu wem komar wadas sana doi we sinyon patkuya nyamo hutra yin. We need to be very, very careful, especially when we lose our identity. There won't be no more services for us. Well, just like the non-Indian out there.
This is the Resilient Podcast. I'm your host, Lena. And I must say, thank you for the love and support you all are showing me currently. So, it's been a long journey getting to this current point right now. So, I'm super excited about where this may head. Only positive vibes out there. And I can't stress enough like how excited I am to finally be out there for everyone to download and share. Maybe one day I'll share my journey with you. But today I have my favorite couple here, Angelo and Jacque of Bison Star Naturals. I'm a huge fan, supporter. I'm a professional hearter on Instagram. How are you both today?
We're doing great. Thank you so much for having us.
Hey,
Yes.
nice to hear from you. Yeah, happy to be here.
Yes, I'm super appreciative and super excited to have you both here today. You both are always really busy, and I love that you're sharing your journey so we can all see your progress on social media. So I love being a part of that journey, watching you guys grow. Now, my question to you guys is how did this all start? Like, let's go way back. Let's rewind all the way back to growing up. Where did you guys grow up?
I grew up in Colorado, and I was born in San Francisco, California, and I only lived there for a super short time because my remarried, and we moved out to Colorado, and then I went to school for my college at Fort Lewis College in Durango, and that's actually where Angelo and I met, was at Fort Lewis College on day one, move-in day, freshman year. It's a super cute story. We
Yeah,
just
already sounds like a super cute love story. So let's hear from Angelo and then we'll get into the actual magic.
Yeah, that's a cool story. I'm excited to get to it. But yeah, I'm here from Taos Pueblo in northern New Mexico, and I was born and raised here, and I'm thankful to be able to be back home after college and meeting Jackie, and going out in the world and learning and experiencing all these different things. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's my humble beginnings is coming.
Well, who did you grow up with? Did you grow up with your family? Like, did you have a mom and dad, your grandparents? Like, who raised you?
Oh, so yeah, I was raised by my mom and dad, and then when I was, I think, 9 years old, that's when my dad went to prison, and so I was raised by a single mom, and
Oh, wow.
basically had to just do the whole res kid thing
Yeah,
that
helping
everybody
your
kind of
mom
goes
do
through if you come
everything.
from a
Yeah.
impoverished community, and you grow up quick that way. But I'm thankful for those kind of experiences because they really make you who you are, and define your character.
Definitely. I totally am 100
Yeah.
right there with you. They totally kind of they either like put you in the right direction so you know like where not to go and what not to be and what not to portray your image or just what you're passing down to your own children. So it it's very very traumatic in some of the experiences and sometimes it's not.
Definitely, but all in all, they are growing experiences, and it's I'm happy to be able to share my story because I hope from sharing my story and sharing our story, we can inspire others to come up out of wherever they were raised, and to be able to succeed and be humble and thankful, and happy to be here on earth, and just making a life for
Yeah,
himself or their family or anything like
exactly.
that. you know for my young life, growing up in a household with a single mom and stuff like that, education was my ticket out. For some people it's like military, some people it's like other family members, or whatever, foster home if it gets really
Okay.
tough. But in my case, I was thankful to really have I guess like passion for education, just to like prove everybody wrong that you can do it. Like if you come from a really poor place where education isn't really valued, like it's kind of cool to be that person that does go out, overcome all the odds and circumstances to be able to get an education. And
So did you have like a scholarship or something that you used or that you
yes,
had?
so when I was in like about like starting my freshman year in high school here in Taos, everybody gets from rural communities can get easily distracted with all the things that young people do when they're messing around, or when
On the
they're
back
exposed
roads,
to
you
like
mean? Hanging
small
out on the back
community.
roads?
Yeah, exactly. And so school was easy for me in a sense. The hardest part for me was not hanging out with the boys or whoever, and ditching school and missing. And school was going well until they changed policies to make attendance a big part of your overall grade, because it's easy to go in and take tests when you need to. And but I don't encourage that route for anybody. Like ditching school isn't smart, it isn't cool or whatever. That's just like kind of my life and what happened to me. And so like around my sophomore year, when they changed policy, and then I started to fail school, that's when I started to take it seriously. And that's when I was able to you know graduate
Did you
high
know that you
school,
wanted
make
to
it
leave the
through, and then
res at
head
that point?
well, it was mainly just more like I wanted to um quote unquote do something, and
Okay.
education was a way of doing something. Because
Uh-huh.
you see so many people, from rural communities or impoverished communities that kind of just stick around, and they don't really seek anything more than just to maintain life. There's no like striving for like serious growth or whatever
They don't have any
that may be in like
influences in their life to do something better, or anybody
yeah,
to tell them, "Hey, there's something else out there.
yeah,
Take a look."
so
There's so many different avenues.
yeah, and so like my whole thing was like I've always, had the ability to see the opportunity, and I think education was just an opportunity that I could take advantage of. So when I went to college, I was on, just like the regular old like lottery, state lottery scholarships, and like
Uh-huh.
there was like a couple scholarships I had, but and also what was cool was the tribe kind of funded me a little bit for like my books and stuff in college. And then what was really great is shout out to Fort Lewis College in Durango, Colorado, because they offer a waived tuition for all Native American students. And I think that's a really huge opportunity for anybody to
That's
take
amazing,
advantage of.
yeah.
And so Fort Lewis College in Durango, Colorado, it's a great town. It's a great school. There's a river, that the Animas River runs right through the middle. There's mountains, mountain biking, skiing, a ski resort. So there's a lot going on there, and I would recommend anybody out there who's looking for
A
some way
change,
to kind of
something, yeah.
gain some experience. Yeah, a change and gain experience and try something new. Fort Lewis is always a great plan, especially if you're young and you're looking to, you just finished high school, or you're out of high school, kind of working, and whatever, like and you want to make a change, like you said. I'd recommend Fort Lewis College most definitely. Their admission process is awesome, and they have a Native American center that can help students with whatever they need, whether it's financial assistance or academic assistance or whatever. It's just a great opportunity, I think, for anybody
To
out there
lead
looking
you
for change.
there, yeah.
I try to encourage a lot of young people from my community to go to Fort Lewis College, because I went there, and it's just a great place for any young people. College
Sounds
in
like it,
general is a
yeah.
great but
So
so anyway, that's where I met Jacqueline. Yeah.
and so it's first day of school, you guys are all moving in, you're getting to the registrar's office, whatnot, trying to find, wherever it is that you're supposed to go, and what happened? Did you boom, like run into her and dropped all her stuff? Like what happened? Like is this like a movie fairy tale type of thing? Tell us the love story.
Well, I'll let Jackie take that one, so that way you get the real version instead of my buttered up version.
Oh.
Just
Well, I
kidding.
think we want it all. We want the
Well, what's funny is that our friends asked us this the other night, and I had told them like a couple nights before because they were curious. And then when we were all
uh-huh.
together, they asked Jacqueline, and it was awesome. like how we both remember the same things, so that's really cool.
Yeah, it was really sweet. We I think it was like a Thursday or something because it was before classes started, and
Uh-huh.
all the parents are they're dropping off students and stuff, and so our moms both left, and then there's at the dorms at Fort Lewis, there's like the quad area. It's a big grassy field where all the students kind of get together and hang out and stuff. Everybody that first night wanted to go, meet other people because nobody knew each other. We were just
Yeah.
all walking around, and I went for a walk and just sat next to some other people um, in a shady area, and then Angelo just came and sat next to me. We just started talking, and then we exchanged phone numbers, and
Wait,
then
wait,
we
wait,
just
Angelo, you just came up and sat next to her, like, or did you see her and be like, "Hey, she's hot. I'm going over there. I'm sitting right next to her."
Well, yeah, it was funny. There's a bunch of like people, like she was saying, sitting in big old circles, like a bunch of big circles all over. And my roommate and I, at the time, we were just walking around, and we came up to like a circle in the shady area, and I walked around the circle, and Jacqueline was a beautiful girl, and
He was
so I
scouting,
decided to
guys.
go and yeah, sit next to her. She was the best bet in the whole quad, so I couldn't pass it
hey.
up.
But it was really cute because then we definitely had like a
Did he remember
foundation
his name when
of
he ta
friendship.
Did he remember his name when he introduced himself? That's what I wanna know.
The funny thing was when he introduced my, I remember I started really like giggling. Like I don't know why. It's not like I was nervous, but just something. I just started really laughing, and I remember him just kind of laughing back, like what's so funny? Why are you laughing so much?
What the hell am I laughing about?
Like I don't know, but it was so funny because then over the next few weeks and stuff, we developed a really good friendship, like almost like we knew each other before, without ever
Yeah, you
meeting.
guys were
But
comfortable with each
people,
other.
exactly, and there would be other classmates thought we were already dating before we even were. People, I remember different people would say, "Oh, is that already your boyfriend? Or are you gonna marry that guy?" And we were both
Uh
18,
huh.
like, "What are you talking about?" But it was just really sweet, and really organic how it happened, and we just developed our friendship, and it just blossomed into a lot more.
And
Yeah,
then so what were you going to school for, Jacqueline?
Uh, well, I studied Spanish and agriculture. I focused my studies not really on something to for a career, but something more along the lines of what was gonna amplify my life in general. And so I got a bachelor's in Spanish and then associates of agricultural science.
Ooh, she speaks the Espanol, guys. And so, all right, so you got your bachelor's in that. What is it that you wanted to be like when you were growing up? Like, what did you want to actually do?
That's a really good question. I don't know if anybody really ever knows the answer to that. I thought I wanted a lot of different things, but
Yeah.
I never really found anything that put me in a direction that was like I want to
So you were on a
do
journey. You
this
were
for
going to you're
the
going to
next
school
50
just
years.
seeking out something. Yeah.
Trying to create different opportunity to create a different life for myself because the way I grew up, I didn't really connect with the way that my family had raised me, and I wanted to have so I found that just through going out and going to school and meeting new people and stuff.
Yeah, that was
And
your outlet. That was your way out from your family. So did you grow up with both parents? Like who raised you?
yes, I didn't grow up with my father, but I had a stepfather. I grew
Mhm.
up knowing my father and communicating with him, but I was raised by my mom, and then she got to my stepfather, and my biological parents were only together for a short while. They were relatively young, and it just wasn't a good match. Interesting, but it was fine, I guess.
Yeah, it's
And
unfortunate
I
some of
think
the things that we
everything
have to
shapes you
go
into who
through.
you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
So now you both are in college. Angela's probably still trying to woo you. So and what happens after that? Like, so you guys just immediately like, get together and your love story continues?
Yeah, so I mean
No way.
during
Jackie played hard to get. Wow.
You
it took
couldn't
a
snag her
couple
up that
months.
fast, Angelo?
It took a bunch of time. It took a lot of time.
He,
Better
you
than
know how
Oh,
he got me was through my stomach because he would we got a little hot plate and he would cook me some really good food in the dorm room and take me out to eat. And so that's what they say is you can win anybody over through
oh
good
yeah.
food. And plus we had a lot of really cool stuff in common, like the outdoors. And one of the cool things about Durango is that it's such an outdoorsy town. There's a river that goes right through the town, and there's a ski resort like 30 minutes away. So one time early on in school I was kind of trying to not ditch class and stuff. And I remember one time Angelo said, "Hey, I got some stuff for a picnic." And this was like right when we were first starting to
You're
date
like,
and stuff.
God, that guy. I'm trying to go to school here.
Yeah, and but he's like, "But I got some stuff for a picnic. Let's go to this place where you can find fossils." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." So we did stuff like that, just go picnicking and hiking and look for fossils or whatever. And it was fun. And part of it too is it was cool because we had a lot of mutual friends that were in common. And everybody just liked to go out and camping. And there's like there's a
Yeah,
Four
and when
Corners
you're
area,
in
so there's a
college, like,
lot
you
of
really
stuff.
don't have a ton of money, so you have to find things to entertain yourself, and being in a beautiful area that you guys were in, I'm assuming that's what you did, that's what you had to do. That was what was around, so that sounds like a ton of fun in itself. And so graduation time, what's going on there? Are you guys
So
graduating at the same time?
I graduated in 2011, and Angelo graduated in 2012 because you took some time off to come back home and come help his mom and stuff. So we
Okay,
graduated a year apart, but we were both in Durango at that time. And I got in a dental office, children's clinic, and I
okay.
worked there for about a year while he was still finishing up school. And actually, right before he finished, we moved all of our stuff down to Taos because after school we said, well, where should we go and what should we do? And Taos was the answer. So we moved into that house. Before we moved in, we had to do even some renovations and stuff,
To get it
ready
ready,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. I like it's I'm happy you're asking these questions because it kind of rehashes some memory. We
Yeah,
feels like
this is the exact story that I wanna get, like,
we've
from
been yeah we've been together for so long too. We have so much history, so it's really cool to remember some of these things. And like Jackie said, graduation. She graduated in 2011, on on schedule or whatever with the when we both started as freshmen. And after that freshman semester, I had moved back to Taos for 2 semesters to help, I guess, reorganize the family home. So I was raised in a broken household, and like the home was my dad's that he had built, but then he was out at prison. And so when I turned 18 and went to college, my mom had to move out. And so I had finished my first semester, and then so I went home, I to ensure a peaceful transition of the family home or whatever. Because when you're a kid and like you have a broken household, you have loyalty to both your parents, and you just want
yeah, for
everything
the
to
most
be
part, some
like
of us
good.
do,
And
yeah.
yeah, you want things to be cohesive. And like, I mean, that's how I felt about both my parents. Because yeah, it's just like I in my life, seeing traumatic events, you just want things to go peaceful. If you can influence the situation. So I took some
Exactly.
time off of school to make sure the family home stayed in the family, and like to make sure my mom had somewhere to go and somewhere to be. And then during that time is when I left to college. And like Jackie said, ever since that point, the family home that I grew up in, that was my dad's, had been vacant. And that year we were kind of going back and forth to the family home to like do some renovations and fix it up. And I've always been in communication with my dad and stuff like that, even though he's in prison. He was aware and open to like somebody going to our family home to make sure it doesn't fall in, because as like traditional adobe homes, or like that's the style that Pueblo people use, and it's very popular all
Yeah.
throughout northern New Mexico. And like if you don't maintain those,
They
protect them from
diminish. Yeah.
snow, they can fall in. And there's a lot of sad stories of people who have really awesome homes, and then the kids go away because there's no opportunity or whatever reasons. And here in Taos, and they just fall in, and it sucks because to see all that lineage and all that work, from your
Yeah.
lineage
Just
go to
destroyed.
waste. So that's what I did, and Jacqueline was, like
She was supportive of
uh,
that as well on your
supportive
journey. Yeah.
because that was my trip or whatever to restore the family home. So I'm very thankful to her that she was willing to be there by my side for that. And so we also had a prospect for after school, to come back home. And I love Taos. The village is where my homeland is, where my people are from. And,
Yeah. You wanted to bring something
we
back to the community, right?
yeah, because like I was real community oriented. Like Taos Pueblo is an area where you drive around and you wave at every single car. It gets tiring every day, then it just ends up becoming a reflex or whatever. And like
Yeah.
you see everybody,
You
and
know everybody.
and so
Small
like
town vibes. Yeah, for sure.
that's what's cool too is like after graduating and coming back home and going to work, people are proud to see young Pueblo kids, who they thought
Coming back.
weren't going to
Yeah.
amount to anything, come and really show everybody and set an example and be an inspiration or whatever.
And so
That
during that
so
time, like when you guys were in that transition, coming from
during the
college
yeah,
to the back to your hometown, did you guys were you guys then having the conversations as far as the business that you guys have right now, or did that come at a later time?
that came at a little bit later of a time, not too much later, but when we came back to Taos, I had the opportunity to um, manage our tribe's like agricultural demonstration site, which is Red Willow Farm, and they have really cool sustainable technology integrated into their 3.2 acre site. They have like
Okay.
heated greenhouses that are heated by like a biomass garden furnace, which is basically a
Oh
huge
wow.
like water a huge water heater that sends lines of hot water underneath the soil to these greenhouses to keep the soil warm all year so you can grow all year. And then they have like a solar powered well and all kinds of other cool little like hoop houses. So anyway, I came back from college to manage that for a couple years. And while I was managing that, um, over those couple years from like 2012 to 2014 is where the seed for Bison Star was starting to sprout. Yeah, Jackie can talk more about that because she is actually like the real inspiration behind Bison Star, and like I'll let her tell.
I really wanted to try to incorporate more natural products in my life and our home and stuff, just
And
because I
why was
felt
that? Were you like breaking out or something? Like was something going on to where you wanted to use more of those things?
well initially. I wasn't breaking out. I just, since I was at work, all day with all these chemicals, I wanted my home environment to be, where there's natural products and
Okay, more
organic.
natural, yeah.
Yeah, because most people spend like 8 hours working every day, and that's a big chunk of time to be exposed to
Sure.
all sorts of.
And you're inhaling all of those toxic
Mhm.
chemicals and you're exposed to all of that. So, okay.
Yeah, so it was during that time that I started kind of messing around making soap and using the wild harvested herbs and flowers that we would, pick already just for tea or cooking or,
Uh-huh.
just stuff that we had kind of lying around, because it was something that we all were
But how did you
interested
learn
in.
to make the soap? Like did somebody give you like a recipe? Did you see it somewhere?
So a lot of it was trial and error. So we got a lot of different books and resources. Like, I go back to my childhood, and I think that it's something that I've always had an interest in, because I remember as a little girl, picking mint and putting it in a pot of water and boiling it down to like almost nothing, making what
Oh
I
wow.
called
So your
like mint
curiosity started
products.
then.
Yeah, so I think a lot of it has to go back really far, and I've always enjoyed, making cooking and making things and stuff. So I think a lot of it just comes out of like kind of who both of us are. of us are as individuals, and then who we have become, as a couple too. So that's been really cool, and we're lucky to have different people in our lives that are, wealths of knowledge, and different resources and stuff that we look up to. We've had a lot of mentors over the years. But when I first started making some soaps, it was definitely a whole different thing than what we're doing now. Stopped
And
for
what
a
was your
while
first one?
because the first one was a mint soap, and I remember the first day I ever, had some soap to sell. I brought it over to Red Willow, and I put it in like a tray. I think there was like 5 bars, or barely anything,
Uh-huh.
because I didn't have hardly any supplies or anything, and somebody bought one, and it was super cool, and but that
And then
it
boom, light bulb.
yeah, but it took a long time, because that was, back probably in 2013 or 14, and we didn't open this business until 2018. And
And then what happened after that?
It was definitely an organic start. She was doing the soaps as a hobby, and then people said, "Oh, cool, you should sell them at Red Willow." And so she came to set up a little table with a few bars, and then, like you said, people responded really well, and it was obvious there was a demand for some natural products. Because everybody, especially nowadays, since 2014 or whatever, since the birth of Bison Star, um, the demand has even grown even more, and it's even more, people are more aware of what's in their products and stuff. So it's, really cool to be jumping into an industry that is looking for, products that we meet the needs of, which is basically a clean
There's a
product.
huge market.
And
Yeah.
so I'm happy that Jacque's really, her natural lifestyle and like desires for our household and stuff like that influenced the birth of Bison Star. And like, my role as supporting her, and her being independent and saying, "Oh, I don't want to work for somebody else. I'll just, if I have to, I'll just try to do this little business." But like she said, doing a business, small business by yourself, where you make handcrafted soaps and stuff, is very like, there's bottlenecks in everywhere you turn, whether it be what's in season, how much you can harvest of it, how you process it and store
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot that goes
there's
into it.
there's a lot that goes into it, your equipment. At that time I was supporting Jacqueline's dream, and she was doing her soap thing, and I was working, and I did that from like 2012 to like 20 end of 2017, which was cool, just to support it. But
And so,
what was neat, it was she did it like as a business by herself from like 2014 to about 2016, and then she realized it was just really tough and a lot to handle by herself. And at that
so
time
was
we
she gaining
decided
more
to,
clientele at that point?
yeah, her business was growing well, and it was just a little business that, was about farmers market level, nothing
Okay.
beyond that. It was just like farmers market, where she would be able to work all week to produce enough for farmers market during the
But
weekend,
those are huge,
so.
though. There's so many
and
people that go out to those. I mean,
and that's
so
why it was difficult for her, because it was hard for her to keep up. And
uh-huh.
so, and I was working full time, so I couldn't help her except for here and there, which I did a lot, though. I did a lot, help her a lot,
And
with
then
the
how did
black wild
the name
harvest and stuff. So
and
that's a really cool story as well. And that goes all the way back to 2007, when I brought Jacqueline home for her first house visit and feast day, which was September 30th. But that was like 13 years ago when I first brought her home. It's really funny because when you bring somebody up to grandma's to dinner, for feast day, and you introduce them to everybody, and I just happen to do it
oh,
at the
that was
dinner table.
nerve-wracking.
And it's not that bad, whatever. I'm not like other people who will bring a date to family dinner or whatever.
A different one every
I'm just,
time.
yeah.
Let's be real here.
But anyway, I said, "This is Jacqueline Brissenstall," and her maiden name was Brissenstall. And my little niece Alexis was, maybe like 12 or something, 13 at the end of the table. And like when I said, "This is Jacqueline Brissenstall, my friend from college," she looks up and she said, "Did you just say Jacqueline Bison Star?" And like the whole table started laughing, like, "Oh, ha ha ha, that's hilarious." And said, "Oh no, it's Brissenstall." And so when Jackie was like, "What am I going to name
That's
the
so
business?"
awesome.
We were like, "What about Bison Star?" And so my niece actually named the business without her knowing.
Without
And
even knowing
so
it,
that's how,
yeah.
yeah, so that's how
That's
the
a super cute story right there.
yeah, so that's how the and so what's really cool is that once Jackie kind of peaked in doing the business by herself and on the farmers market scene and stuff like that, that's about the time when we decided that we wanted to have a child.
And
She
about what year was that?
That original business was dissolved in, I want to say 2015. I had no more steam left, and it was just no, I couldn't handle it anymore. And so that was about 2015. Between then and getting pregnant, I don't know if Angelo mentioned it yet, but one of our, dreams that we always talked about, even as soon as we met, was that we wanted to have our first child when we were together for 10 years. And so in 2017, we had our first baby and our only child so far, and that was our 10-year mark.
So that was the introduction of baby Bison Star.
That's our little baby Bison. Yeah, it's cute that you say that because she calls our like logo and stuff the baby Bison, and
Aw.
so it's kind of cute that you said
So,
that too.
yeah, so you need some baby wear out there, some baby tees.
Right. We made one for her so far, and she wears it, her baby Bison shirt. But we're gonna make more, and then
Need
so
some
it was
onesies, some bottles, something,
right. And
a
so
whole line.
after having her, she was born in the spring of 2017, and I don't know if you have any kids, but I didn't
No, but I have
realize
a
this.
ton of nieces and nephews.
Great. So a lot of moms experience what I experienced was my skin and my hair totally changed after having a baby, and I didn't really like anticipate that at all.
Like
But
how? How was it changing?
like my skin got super dry, and my hair just felt like brittle, and even my nails were, but I think it's because your body's
It's
forming
probably
a human.
depleted. Yeah, it depleted of all of your nutrients and whatnot. So
Exactly. So that was something I didn't anticipate after having her. And as time went on after recovering from having a newborn, the desire for the natural products really came back, and even more so than before, just because now we had a little baby living in our home too, and I wanted to
you
also
wanted to
combat the
protect the baby, yeah.
yeah, and I wanted I wanted my skin to feel like normal, after that. And so she
So what
was
did
a
you
big
start doing?
so we started developing some lotion. I had messed around with making lotion and stuff, but we never sold any of it. We just kind of had it, and it wasn't a
You didn't
finished
put it out there
thing.
for the people.
Yeah. So after we kind of started talking and saying that maybe we should open this business and actually go for it 100% and have both of us go for it and, be totally invested. This wasn't what we anticipated at all,
Yeah. Do you guys
but
remember that specific day? Were you guys talking about it? Were you guys mulling it over? Like, do you remember that specific day in which you decided to say, "Hey, we're gonna dive into this head first"? Of
do
us.
remember it. I know both of us remember it really, really well because
Tell us about it.
that before our little girl was born, Angelo had been working as a tribal wilderness ranger, and after having a child, that changes your priorities, and we realized that we didn't think that that was the lifestyle that we wanted, where he had to go put his life out on the line every day, because for any type of law enforcement, there's hazard, that
Yeah.
can come in that. And
He may not come home that day, and that's in
yeah,
any instance.
and it's a real thing, for law enforcement officers of any, whether it's wilderness or police officers or anything. And so we sat down one day, and we made a list, and we wrote down all the different things that we could do. Like, is this really the path that we want to take? Is this what we want to do? And so we wrote down a whole list, and then all the way at the very bottom we said, well, maybe we should try Bison Star, and go all in. We looked at the list, and
Take
that
a
was
chance
the
on ourselves. Yeah.
exactly, and that was definitely by far the most risky the most
Scariest
risky
thing you could
option,
probably ever do. Yeah.
but it had the most potential too.
And it was really funny because, like, I had this kind of really nice job security with like a law enforcement position with our tribe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is that when we looked at that list, after reorganizing our priorities and looking at Bison Star, um, it was kind of funny because, like, we had just the newborn, we had a newborn baby, and it was just so funny to, like, for me and us to be like, okay, well, we'll just do this Bison Star thing, and we'll make it happen. Because, like, I graduated from Fort Lewis College with a bachelor's in business administration as well as an agricultural sciences degree.
Yeah. So you kind of knew how
And
to
so,
start or
yeah, like with Jackie's prior experience, and then with my like energy and knowledge, from the academic side of things, I just kind of saw it as an opportunity
yeah, it's
that
all
had
coming
way more
together.
benefits, than just being, having being employed and having a good job where you make some money or whatever. I actually saw that with starting our own business, we could definitely create something that would end up contributing to the community in the long run. It wouldn't just
Yeah,
be
you can
like,
create your own
you know,
schedules as well. You're not in harm's
and,
way. You get
and
to spend
so
more time with the family.
when we made our decision and when we started telling everybody thought I was crazy when I was saying, "Oh yeah, so we're gonna start our small business and I'm gonna give up this position and whatever." And
Uh-huh.
everybody was like, "What? You have a brand new baby and you're leaving a full time
Yeah, you
job
guys are
and
like
with
batshit
benefits and all
crazy.
this stuff?" Yeah. So it was just so funny. And you know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of like when I went to college and everybody was like, "Oh well, what are you studying?"
Yeah, why are
And
you going there?
yeah, and like it was really hilarious because at first when I went to college, I wanted to be like, professional like skier, mountain biker, adventure tour guide, and nobody could understand what I was saying. But
Yeah.
then when I changed my path education to be like, oh, I'm studying business, and nobody knew what it meant, but everybody agreed, no, yeah, good job, that's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no clue.
So
And they're
that's what it
just
kind of
like,
reminded me of. Yeah, nobody had any
I,
benefits
I
in
don't
starting a
understand that
business,
part
but
there.
everybody could like understand. Everybody could understand like
I
having a
understand
job,
the
but nobody could
business.
understand owning a business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I that's the part that I do not get. Everybody is mostly like, "Oh, if you're going to go into like the army or if you're going to like you said like to school in whatever program that you're choosing, everyone's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." But then when you say your own business, everyone's like, "Oh, no, you're out of your mind. That's never going to succeed." Like they automatically always think that. And I think it's a total waste and a total bunch of crap. And reason being is because like that's your passion. You find out who you are. You know who you are, you have a dream, and you'll get there. You're learning on the way. I think it's really important that we all can see something in somebody and then just support them right off the bat, not telling them that they're crazy or anything like that, because it's crazy as hell when you're talking to people and they're going to college. They have no clue what they're getting themselves into. You're going into college, and if you don't have like any scholarships or you're not getting any funding from the tribe or anything like that, you're going in there and you're coming out of school. You may not even finish that degree. Not only that, but you're coming out with a ton of debt if you don't have any of those other resources backing you up. Like that's crazy to me. Nobody ever teaches people that these days. They just say,
Right.
"Hey, go get your ass in debt, and when you're done, then here we are." Nobody is saying like, "Hey, let me teach you this trade. Let me teach you how to do your finances. Nobody let me teach you how to emotionally stabilize yourself." Things like that that really matter in the world. They're just like, "No, go to college and get in debt."
Yeah, like it's just one way to do everything, and one size doesn't fit all.
It
That's for
doesn't.
sure.
No. Especially coming from like a rural community as well. So a lot of people make fun of me, and reason being is because I like to use everything as natural, as organic as I possibly can. So they always make fun of me like, "Oh, you're too bougie for this and too bougie for that." Well, I kind of care like about the products that I'm putting on my skin, and on my hair or anything like that. It's because like all of those chemicals that are in shampoos, lotions, soaps, tampons, anything out there like underarm deodorant, all of that is going into your skin. And people don't realize that later on Alzheimer's, cancer, like all of these different health effects are going to happen, you know? And so that's why I started when I found you guys at the ASU powwows when I met you, Angela, actually, you know? So that was very exciting to me to know that you had more than just a soap. You had actually had lotions and whatnot.
It's kind of interesting too because we opened our company in January of 2018, and then hadn't actually released our lotion until May of 2018. That was, a 9-month old, and so I started making the lotion, and we started picking our scents and stuff, and we started using it personally before we even introduced it to anybody else, and even in the time before we started selling it, we were, I'm telling you, we wanted to go all in. So we
Yeah.
had it tested for like shelf life and stability and all that stuff.
Oh, how
So that
awesome.
way we could be confident in what we were doing and what we were selling was going to be a quality product for other people that, have similar wants and desires like we do. And then it was really amazing because once we released our lotion that May, it's taken over our company.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love how it feels. Is it the sage pine and the lavender are the ones that I tried, and I absolutely love them. They are so soft and silky smooth. I mean, I need to reorder some because I gave whatever else I had left to my mom so she could try it out because she's super picky and she is like super in love with it. So
Oh,
thank you
that's
for
really
that.
exciting. That's really exciting. That makes us feel good because we take a long time trying to figure out what's right for products, and I'm appreciative that Jacqueline has high standards, so we can be guinea pigs
I'll
on
be
our
your guinea
own
pig
products, and
anytime.
then figure out. And that's cool because we do have hopes to develop a body wash, a shampoo, and a
I
conditioner to
was going to
complement
ask you
our
guys, like, what
liquid
else are
soap
you guys
and
gonna
our
do?
lotion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That's
so
awesome to hear that.
that's the next part of our journey with Bison Star as far as the product lines go, because right now we're currently involved in a build of our production facility, which is really exciting. It's a 1,300 square foot building that's going to have a 1,000 square foot production area and a 300
Uh-huh.
square foot office. So right now I'm at the foundational level, and like you said, I'm happy you're following on Insta and social media because we really try to document the
I love it. I
progress of
see
our
your
build.
progress every single
um,
day. Like when you guys had that clearing the other day, I was like, "Oh my God, that is so awesome. I bet they're so happy about that."
It's really amazing how things come together once you kind of just put your mind towards a goal, and it's really awesome. We have a really great community, and because I'm from Taos and I have a good history here, and I've worked a lot of different places. We have a lot of resources to get that kind of development done, and
Yeah, I just
so
seen that you
thanks.
guys went to that Blake, that Taos Blake, I think that
The
it's called.
hotel, yeah,
The
that's up at the
hotel,
ski
yes.
valley. It's
Uh-huh.
actually a resort. Yeah, and it's really awesome, and
How excited were
we're
you guys when
super
you guys got the
excited.
word?
Oh man, it was something that Jackie had kind of been fishing for over a year. So when we got word to show up with some of our products and they were interested, we jumped on that right away, and we're very excited and thankful. And that's where we see Bison Star going. We'd love to be like a national
Yeah, a
company that's
household
filling
name.
orders for hotels and a household name. And we're really trying to share our story with everybody because we think it's important for people to see where their money is going. And like for
Exactly, and I
me,
love that's why you guys are documenting all of that. So seeing your build every single day, like people who are they're invested in you, they're invested in your product and all of that, you're showing everybody where their money is going. So how much longer do you think it's going to take for the build?
So it was funny, I started the build back in April when we first acquired this brand new piece of land that we're building on. It doesn't have no water, no electricity, no utilities infrastructure. So we're developing all that too. But it was hilarious. I went up in there and I was like, I'm gonna clean this piece. I'm gonna put in a foundation. I'm gonna have a building up by September, like this month. That's what I was saying all year. And it's super, super expensive and it takes a lot. And I'm doing the building primarily. I have a contractor buddy who's helping me with his machinery to like dig, the
Uh-huh.
foundation and to dig the utility lines and stuff like that, which is great. I'm
So
very
what
thankful.
what
But
happened? Were
for
you
the
out
most
there
part,
with
it's
just
just
one
myself.
shovel? Were you out there with
No,
just one shovel and like, "Yeah, I can get this done," and then you're like, "Oh, can't do it. I need some
no.
help."
Well, Yeah, I guess metaphorically, in a sense, yes, because I just
Yeah.
wasn't prepared for all of what it takes for the build. But what's really cool is as soon as I said that I wanted that to happen, everything started to fall in place to where right now at the build, I'm
I
about to
love it.
finish the
Yeah.
foundation level, and I know exactly where we're going from here, which is we just got word today that our electric easement for that piece of land should be ready by next week. And
Oh,
once
how
it's ready, all I
exciting.
have to pick it up, and then I can get to digging and getting some electricity to the land, which would be huge. So everything happens. And shout out to the Taos Pueblo Fire and Fuels Program, which is part of the Division of Natural Resources here at Taos Pueblo, for receiving doing the footwork to get a grant to reduce the fuel loaded areas in our riparian area. Um, Along the Rio Pueblo, and we have land that's along, that their scope of work. So they were able
Yeah.
to come into our property and shape this wild food walk that we had envisioned for a long time. And then also they cleared a big part of our land for in preparation for an orchard that I'll be installing starting next year too.
Oh,
So
how cool.
like Bison Star isn't all just about like a small family business that's trying to grow so we can stay home and continue
Yeah, you're
our culture here at
expanding.
Taos Pueblo. But like we're also more multifaceted in the sense that we're trying to create like a wild food walk that could be an educational experience for groups of people or individuals that come to visit the stand.
Oh,
And
so like a tour type of
we
thing?
also, yeah, in a sense it's just like a private park, where there'll be placards of all the wild foods that grow in this small piece of land, which there's like over 40 wild foods that are just naturally growing there. And so it'll be cool for people to go like on a circle walk through about an acre or or so of land that has a traditional irrigation ditch that my ancestors used to use to grow corn, and all of the old food stuffs. And
Yeah.
then
And it's
there'll
sharing
also
your
be all
story as
the
well.
yeah, so like that's what I was saying about the business. Is it's really cool. We don't just have really high quality products, but we have an awesome story. People are contributing to like the maintaining of a cultural integrity, and then also just like an educational experience. And
Yeah,
we're
it's
trying to
all
offer way
encompassed in
more than
there.
just like high quality products. And that's what's nice, and that's why I kind of feel excited about the future of Bison Star, and that we do have the potential to become a household name, because it's like we have something for everybody in a sense, even if it's not just a product.
And so where do you want to be in like 5 years? And what do you want to be remembered for?
That's a really cool question. As far as like to answer the original question is when the build is going to be done. I think next September is when our production facility will be complete, and so then in 5 years, I feel that as far as Bison Star goes, in 5 years, I feel that will be a nationally known business that will have our products all over the country, because by then I feel that we'll already have our full suite of products to complete um, product line, to include,
Yeah.
which I was saying, lotion, liquid soap, body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. Because we'd like to be in like hotels and museum gift shops. We would like to be in airports all over the country. There's just like a lot of cool um, avenues. And
I love the fact that you guys have you took your vision and now it's totally growing, it's expanding, and it's going into all of these different avenues, and your line is growing as well. And people like myself, if I were ever in the area, that is something that I would like to see. I would like to go there and I would like to see, where you guys do your production, how it starts from, the start to the end, and then also take a little tour, like you were saying, like, what was it, the water well or whatnot that your ancestors use and things like that. That's super cool to me. I mean, that might be super nerdy, and I geek out on stuff like that. I absolutely love it. Another part that I love about what you guys are doing is not only the journey that you're telling us on your social media, but going back to Gary V. I love that you guys love him. Like, that guy, he just drops so much knowledge, so many hard facts, and he just like puts you in the place. Like, get your ass up and go do something right now. I love that.
It's so true. Angelo always likes to joke around that he's our business. He doesn't know it yet. Gary Vee
Yeah.
doesn't know it yet, but we like there's been sometimes that it's challenging, doing a business and not knowing what's going to happen next week or next month, and so we'll just put on Gary Vee, and he makes us really put a lot into perspective
Yeah, he puts you
and be
back in the game.
motivated.
Yeah, definitely. And I love
Mm-hmm.
how you guys are posting videos of inspirational and motivational like sayings and things like that. And I really love how you're elevating your page, like because your guys' platform is getting pretty big. I mean, you guys are almost at 5,000 followers on Instagram alone, and it's growing, I'm sure, at a faster pace.
It allows us to connect with our customers, but also people who are just interested in a lifestyle that's different or similar, whatever to their own. And
Yeah,
it's really neat to be able to connect with people like so directly. We don't have to go through a magazine or TV or newspaper or anything. We
it's all
directly
free on
can.
social media, connecting with people just like myself. Yeah.
Well, another thing that's really cool too is that yeah, all of this is free. Like Gary Vee says, we don't have to pay a cent
Yeah.
for all of this exposure and outreach and all of this stuff. And um, I think that like
Word of mouth, res to res,
listen,
things
yeah,
like that.
and we've always wanted to document the journey of Bison Star and kind of like share our story, because we really do see a lot of value in sharing a story for small business and stuff. And so one of the things that Gary Vee's really inspired us to do is just to document rather than to try to create anything. And so that's been a
Uh-huh.
focus of ours. And one of the things is we wanted to document our journey this whole time, but then listening to Gary Vee and just hearing him say to make a bunch of content by documenting instead of creating just made it
Yeah,
easier
just start
to
it. Just do it.
start creating our social media presence. And it's really cool. We're really trying to infiltrate all platforms and stuff like that. So you can find us on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook, Insta. I mean, there's even new platforms that are coming out that we
Are you guys
will
gonna do
start
TikTok?
engaging. I think that we may take a bet and start investing a little bit of time into TikTok, because there's a lot of cool content we can make, especially just documenting our build and going out on a
Yeah.
wild harvesting and making our stuff. And there's so many opportunities for short videos that we'd be crazy if we didn't, because that's free
Yeah,
too. And
and everybody can share them on your platform, and it's easy to get the word out to get more followers. Not only that, but it brings more people into like getting to know you guys and into your business. Why do you think people should support small businesses?
that's a great question. I think people should support small businesses because your money is like a ballot. Every dollar you have is like a ballot, and it's a vote. So every dollar you spend is like a vote. And wherever you put your money is what you're voting for. So if you are putting your money into small businesses who are your friends, your community, people you actually know and can see, and how you're affecting their life, that means you're voting for them to have a good lot, like be comfortable and to succeed and to be supported. um, Otherwise you can go vote at Walmart and go spend your dollar on the cheapest product that you can find, but then that means you're voting for quantity over quality, and that has a lot of sacrifices involved in it.
I love that you
Another
say that. Go ahead.
another thing that I really appreciate too is when you support small business, like especially like a business like ours, we try to really focus and support other local businesses through our own purchases and stuff. So I think it really keeps your dollar in the community that you're wanting to support for a
Exactly.
lot longer.
I was just going to say, yeah, your money should circulate at least 6 times in your community before it's, like, outsourced, and I've learned that by watching, like, so many documentaries, like, listen to people speak. I mean, in the Asian and the Jewish community, their dollar reaches or their dollar goes around and circulates at least 10 times before it's put in, outside of their community. So I think that's something that we can all really learn. And if I'm supporting you, if you're supporting another small business and they are supporting, other small businesses, that's exactly how we're going to keep, our dollars in either Indian country or, your surrounding small community that you're a part of. So I really appreciate that you guys are doing this with your products and your business. I love the movement. um, it's amazing. The journey that you just exposed today is amazing. It's heartfelt. I love it.
That's cool. You reminded me of another thing that we're just about to start rolling out is
Ooh,
especially for
do
the
tell.
holiday season. Yeah, we're gonna be bringing in some other local products from Taos.
Okay.
They can, just local businesses. We're gonna be bringing in some local products, and then we're also going to be bringing in some indigenous owned businesses to our store and our website as well.
And
To
tell us who those indigenous artists are, those creators are.
Yeah, so far, we have an order with Winston Paul for her makeup bags, which you probably
Ooh,
have
I
seen
love
because
her
they're
bags.
super
Yes, I have
gorgeous.
one.
Yeah, yes, me too. I love them, and so that's one of the companies, and then another company so far is Spirit Mountain Roasting Company
Ooh,
for
Tudor,
coffee
yes.
beans.
Uh-huh.
Yes, which was another one of your interviewees for the podcast. So we're that's our start right now, and you had asked about our 5-year vision, and another part of our 5-year vision is we would like to make our store not only highlight our products but other people too, and other indigenous brands and other local Taos brands too, um, because there's more than enough abundance to go around. And
Oh, yes,
our
definitely.
philosophy is there's not time to be competitive with other people who are doing something similar. I think that we can support other people through our by buying from them, and then giving our people of the town of Taos and Taos Pueblo, and the whole everybody here a
Yeah, the
place where
surrounding
they can
community.
buy local products or indigenous owned products that aren't sold elsewhere in town. So that's one of the things that we're going to be working on, and we'll hopefully be getting the Winston Paul bags sometime this month, and then they're going to be for sale on our website and then also in our store. So that's going to be really exciting, and I think we have the potential to work with Prado's Beauty as well, and
Yes, I'm
get
gonna
some of
interview
her
her
brushes.
soon too. Yes.
Yeah, she's really awesome. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. I love how you guys are incorporating other indigenous creators out there, and you're bringing them into your household name. So when your store is up and running, I hope to make a trip out there soon, or when that's done. That's definitely a goal of mine. I will still continue to support you, your vision, just the people as whole. You guys seem like really awesome, cool people, and that's one of the reasons why you guys are my favorite couple on Instagram, which is my favorite platform. So I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing, and I can't wait to see what else you guys have in store.
That's so cool. We really appreciate you too, and we appreciate this opportunity to talk to you more. And it's fun for us to sit down and talk to you because we don't go down memory lane like this that often. And it's just really fun, and we'd love to have you come visit, even if it's during the build anytime,
Yeah.
because we're open right now. Our hours are kind of irregular because we're trying to do the business
Yeah,
and
you're trying to
operate.
focus on that, yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
you have
then
the
also the
baby
build.
bison.
Yeah, then we have the little baby who's a toddler now, but she's our baby, and so our hours are irregular. But if ever you're in town, don't hesitate to let us know because we'd love
Oh,
to
you're
show you
gonna know.
around, and and we'd love it to. And even if you came like right now and we're just doing the foundation, in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, even 10, the build and the site is going to look really different. different because
Oh, yeah.
as time goes on, in addition to the workshop and production area, we're gonna be the traditional Adobe style store too. So that's
Oh,
another
how
building that'll come
awesome.
later. So eventually, so this first building we're gonna have, our workshop and stuff, but we don't want the workshop to be the same building as the store because that has a lot of traffic and creates potential for for our products and stuff while we're making them, like dust and all that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a smaller separate store that's gonna be right, just right next to it, and that'll be all incorporated along with the wild food forest and everything. So it's a big vision, and we got a really steep mountain to climb, but it's such a blessing, and it's amazing to be able to do it together. Both of us have different strengths and talents and stuff that
I
we
love your
both.
collaboration with each other, and I love that you guys are supporting each other like that. I think we need more couples out there that are actually not only being influenced by one another, but they are actually influencing people out there by sharing your story, sharing your journey, sharing your struggle. Nobody ever really sees the struggle behind businesses that are up and coming, but you guys are doing the work right now. One of the things that I love seeing that is coming from Indian country is that the business has been featured in numerous platforms. So Native Business Magazine, New Mexico Mag, KRQE. You guys were just on there live. What was it last?
Yeah, so we're super thankful that people are starting to notice what we've been up to, and the feature in Native Business Magazine was super huge. I'm so proud of Angelo that he was selected as one of the nation's top um, 50 Native entrepreneurs. The lineup of some of these businessmen and women is so cool, and
Yeah,
it's
that
just
was a powerful magazine there.
it was. It really speaks loudly about, Angelo's work ethic and who he is, because he is the hardest worker that I know. And I'm really happy for him that he was given that accolade, because it's huge. And then
Congratulations.
that
Yes.
was.
Yeah, so you guys are doing the work and it's definitely showing. So where else can we find you guys? Like what platforms? I know that we mentioned earlier what they are, but what is the actual handle? Do you guys have an email address? Like what do you prefer people reaching out to you in your DMs? Like where can we find you guys?
I mean, you can contact us directly through our website. We all respond to DMs. You can comment on our stuff, Instagram or Facebook, and then, but we are on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter, Angelo McCourse. And then we have our Bison Star page too, Bison Star Naturals. Bison Star Taos is the handle, Bison Star Taos on Twitter.
Okay, and that's on Twitter.
So
All right.
we're dipping into a few other platforms where you can reach us. So really, LinkedIn, you can find me at Angelo McCourse too. We really want to be able to communicate and be in contact with our customers, audience, future potential collaborators. We know that collaborating with everybody and hearing what everybody has to say just increases the value of the relationship. And then, once you have value in a relationship, that's how you end up working for each other and helping each other out. So, please, we're open to anybody and everybody contacting us. If you like to carry our stuff in your stores, we do wholesaling. Please talk to us about corporate gifts, any kind of business owners or anybody working for big companies. We'll do stuff like that. We've even done weddings before too, where we create gift bags for the wedding.
Oh,
So,
cool.
we're willing to work with any and all people, and we're also good about receiving feedback and responding to it. So yeah, we're always open to communication, which is cool. I just want to say that execution is the most important action or outcome of any kind of effort. I think that anybody can say anything and anybody can put on a show, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the everyday actions that gets you towards your goal. And so I think that execution of your ideas is like the driving force behind any great movement or any idea or any kind of business. Just because every day, you know, it's like everybody can say all this stuff, but at the end of the day, even at the beginning of the day, it matters what you did starting at the beginning of the day.
Yeah, and you're creating your own path and you're continuously doing
Because
it. And you guys have the
nobody,
support.
and like nobody's, you know, telling you what to do as an adult. You know, you have to find that drive within yourself. And I just think that it's exciting to get yourself all hyped up, but you have to execute, or else the hype is all for nothing.
Sometimes you just have to change your inner circle, get all that toxic crap out of your life, and then once you get a ton of positive people around you, speaking the same language as you and only moving forward, I mean that's going to take off in itself. You're really going to move and learn different things instead of just being stuck.
Totally. Yeah. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. And
Thank you guys once again for joining me and letting us all know what it took to get you to where you're currently at right now. I can't wait to speak to you next year to see where the business has gone, to see pictures of the new build all up and running. So I'm super excited for you guys. Continue doing the work and continue delivering some of those positive messages that you guys have been doing thus far. So thank you for joining me on Resilient. I'm your host, Lena. The bird song in the beginning is brought to you by Larry Hammond Jr. and it's produced by Kane Pallone, aka Structure of the Maintain Fam. This podcast is brought to you by Quetzon Media Inc. Together we are planting a seed that will start a movement amongst Quetzon people and every Indigenous individual. You can find us on Facebook at Quetzon Media Inc. or follow me on the gram at Resilient or at Miss Yeah 49 for my personal page. Until next time.
People here. And these people that lived here, basically, there were many cultures and many languages, but they were the people of this land base. And almost universally within this concept, they always referred to themselves in their own languages or culture as the people, human beings. But that was always a part of the self-identification, the identification of self, the people. And the Europeans came and they refused to recognize us as the people. They called us Indian.